Oi, oya, 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 Chumi, ¿cómo estáis? Oli, Wichi, Facunde, hello, Dazote, Oli, eh, Oli, Wichi. Lo primero de todo, lo siento por no haber streameado ni ayer ni antes de ayer, pero estaba bastante mala. Estuve todo el martes con 38 y pico de fiebre, que no me bajaba. Y ayer estuve algo mejor, pero al menos ya no tuve fiebre. Bueno, sí, tuve unas décimas por la mañana. Pero ya nada más que era la garganta. Y hoy sigue siendo la garganta un poco. Así que no me puedo quejar. Sí, ya estoy mejor. Sigo tosiendo de vez en cuando que parezco un camionero por los mocos, pero estoy bien. Me estoy adaptando un poco a la vida con un perro. Porque para mí es algo completamente nuevo. Y aparte, el problema de adoptar un perro 3 semanas antes de redebutar es que las cosas que tienes que hacer para el redebut se enlentecen demasiado, así que estoy durmiendo menos y, o sea, nada y menos, mejor dicho, nada y menos, yo estoy durmiendo, estoy a full con todo lo que puedo, porque además la transición me está matando la maldita transición. Eh, Me quedan por hacer unos emoticonos y unas notificaciones, o sea, unas animaciones de notificaciones. Y deciros que lo siento por no estar subiendo los directos al canal de YouTube, pero seguramente, aunque ya tenga todas las miniaturas preparadas y todo hecho, no vaya a poder subir ningún directo de los que he hecho hasta después del redebut, ¿vale? ¡Oli, Witcillosa! Bien, ¿cómo estás tú? Entonces seguramente hasta por lo menos el día 7 de junio, que son 3 semanas prácticamente, seguramente no pueda resubir ninguno de los directos, pero están todos guardados y descargados, así que ninguno se va a perder. Está todo guardado y descargado. Arigato. Entonces estoy un poco hasta el cuello, ¿vale? O sea, literal que no duermo casi nada. Creo que esta mañana he dormido 2 horas. Desde las 7 hasta las 9. Luego he estado despierta toda la mañana. Y haciendo cosas y vamos, no he parado. No he parado. No he parado. Entre una cosa y otra no estoy haciendo nada. Estoy esforzándome. Entonces deciros eso, que si veis que no subo nada al canal de YouTube, no os preocupéis, que a partir del día 7 seguramente lo retoméis. Si tengo algún hueco entre medio, antes del día 6, también subiré algo. Pero en principio no voy a poder. Simplemente era avisaros de eso. Y voy a poner ya jueguecito. Voy a jugar menos de lo que quisiera, pero básicamente porque estoy con la mierda de la animación que tengo que terminarla. Voy por el frame 30 y estoy ya desesperada. Así que aunque quiera jugar bastante más, 2 horas y media, a lo mejor lo reduzco a 2 horas, hora y media. 2 horas, va, yo dormía 1 hora, o no, pero 2 horas. Escúchate esto, voy a seguirla. Okidoki, zote. 2 horas es súper poco. ¿Cómo aguantas con eso de sueño? Ni yo lo sé, ¿vale? Voy a ser sincera, ni yo sé cómo aguanto con esa cantidad de sueño. Pero llevo así desde... El martes no, porque el martes me pasé el día durmiendo porque no me quedaba de otra. ¡Oli Wichi, Savage! ¡Oli Wichi! Porque no me quedaba de... Un momento. No me quedaba de otra que estar durmiendo todo el día porque estaba en la mierda por la fiebre. Y aparte que me dolía todo el cuerpo. Pero esa misma noche, como me empecé a encontrar un poco mejor, ya la pasé en vela, todo el miércoles prácticamente en vela, excepto por 2 o 3 horas que dormí. Esta noche la he vuelto a pasar en vela, 2 horas que dormí esta mañana, creo que me he echado una cabezada de 30 o 40 minutos esta tarde y ahora mismo pues me espera otra noche en vela para seguir con los putos frames de mierda. Es que tener en cuenta que tengo que hacer 53 frames porque son 108. No, sí, 53. Son 108 en espejo. Así que solamente tengo que hacer la mitad, ¿no? 53. Y cada uno me lleva como... Un segundo. Y cada uno me lleva como unos 30 o 45 minutos cada frame. Porque tiene como 10 o 12 capas cada frame. Hoy, olido ahí. Depende del clima y la alineación de los astros. Ustedes... duermen que dormir, Oli Jabel. Entonces ahora mismo voy por el 30. Con cada uno con 10 capas y tardo pues eso, 30 o 45 minutos. Entonces calculo que esta noche haré otros 6 o 7 hasta las 7 de la madrugada. A ver cómo se me da. No, vamos a seguir con el Stanley. No os voy a contar mis penurias para lo del redebut.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them.
Si alguien no sabe de qué va Stanley Parable, prestar atención ahora mismo,
427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
¿Quién es quién?
And then one day, something very
Está el señor que te narra la historia, que es el que está hablando, y luego está Stanley, que somos nosotros. Yo ya lo vi, no, yo también me sé el juego, lo que pasa es que el Ultra Deluxe no.
Single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete
¿Quién es? Stanley, básicamente un trabajador de una oficina que hace todos los días lo mismo, lo que le ordenan. Oli Wichi, Alejo, Oli. Creo que había una opción que era cerrar la puerta y decir, pues no, no sale. Ah, vale, ok.
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me.
Ah, vale, que ya no se volvía a abrir.
In here I can be happy forever.
La representación de la explotación laboral, literalmente.
Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough,
¿Puedo pasar por encima de la silla?
Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be
Señor, ¿va a dejarme salir?
told what to do.
No tendría que haber cerrado la puerta.
A little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Quiero escapar del laburo, el juego. Vale. No es como muy smooth el movimiento, no se siente como pasos. Había... Podía hacer... Ah, no me... Ah, ahí está. ¿Cómo me agacho? Ah, vale. ¡Uy!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized
La chamba al juego, estoy harto de la chamba al juego.
He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
La verdad es que no.
Take a minute just to drink it all in. Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Se la sabe toda. A ver, es que ya he jugado al normal, al que no he jugado es al Ultra Deluxe. ¿Te cansaste de este chiste? Sí.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. These points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
¿Qué cojones? ¿Se va a callar?
Once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so lonely. But the truth must be told, he was not very old, and was quite
¿Qué cojones me estás contando? Ahora me voy. En verdad de cero. ¿Cómo estás con tu monstruo peludo de 4 patas? Mejor, ya se va comportando. Vaya durmiendo solita. Ya no va chillando.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
He leído que hay un easter egg super creepy que literalmente está Stanley al otro lado de esta ventana mirándote. Y desde entonces me acojona un poco el juego. Igual que por aquí a veces se ve pasar a un empleado, si vas lo suficientemente rápido.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Había una puerta que si la pulsabas 50.000 veces te daba un logro. Hostia, qué susto me he metido con la planta.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office, because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Vale. Me encanta cómo el señor se queja de todo lo que hago.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Precisamente por la que voy a entrar.
Direct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
A ver, un momento, que no me sale bien el comentario. Un segundo. Ahora. Backroom de la chamba. Stanley, yo tomo mis decisiones. Venga.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got
No me da la gana.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Venga, ¿dónde tengo que ir?
From here, it's, left. Oh, no. It's to the right, my mistake. No.
¡Hijo de puta!
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute?
Lo que más es que lo que mejor a ver, es lo único prácticamente, pero lo mejor de este juego no son los las habitaciones ni los puzzles que puedan haber, porque hay algún puzzlecito. No, lo mejor de todo es el tío hablándote.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, step. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
Spoiler, sal ahí. No puedo salir.
Track, Okay, from the top.
He leído que en este nuevo eventualmente se te activará una puerta que puedes atravesar y entonces te lleva al contenido nuevo. ¿Eh?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Yo no he tocado nada.
Somewhere or hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Esta. Pues esto es lo mismo. What the fuck. ¿Sí? ¿Qué es esto? ¡Ay, no! ¡He vuelto! ¡No! Es un laberinto. ¿Es un laberinto?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Lo que más me gusta es como el propio tío tiene control sobre el juego.
His co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ahora no hay puerta.
Okay, yep, it's worse.
Pues es que no me acuerdo de la mayoría de cosas del juego, así que es como volver a rejugarlo entero. Algo me suena.
Let's see if we missed anything.
Algo me suena, pero no me acuerdo. Lo que sí que me acordaba era de lo de... Lo de salirme y lo de encerrarme. Del resto no me acuerdo. ¿Y qué hago, señor? ¡Ah!
Ha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Señor, no sé...
Wait, never mind. Not the story. Let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now
¿Y
this...
este sitio?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this a story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Sí, me acuerdo.
Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a
Ya está, chicos, se acaba el directo, no hay más.
good.
De ese juego trabajaron más que el propio Stanley. No, sí, desde luego. Y creo que no es un equipo muy grande, ¿eh?
About this at all.
Creo que es un equipo
As
pequeñito.
though you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and
Listo,
square.
ya está, ya acaba el juego. No necesitamos más.
Situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time.
Los 10 mejores finales del gaming. Por batalla épica. 7 10. Bueno, joder.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
¿Y si no quiero?
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
El tío ha dicho, no, tienes que seguir la línea por cojoncios. ¿A dónde me lleva la línea?
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Tu destiny.
A thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
What?
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey?
Está todo conectado. Es que encima de esto tiene
into being
geometría de esta no euclidiana. Están las cosas superpuestas.
Follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that.
Tengo que hacer Spiderman parkour.
Now, if my experience of your
¡Uy! No puedo saltar.
existence
¡Uy!
inside of
¡Uy!
your subjective
¡Parkour!
experience of this office, is this office in fact the
What the
skeleton of your
fuck?
own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what?
¿Eso
I
qué?
think what we need right now is
¡Oh!
music to lighten the mood.
¡Nani! ¡Oh, libro de bien! ¡Nani! ¿No va a caer el PDI? ¿Y la musiquita para qué? Da ganas de robar un banco ahora, pero 100%.
Look at that fern.
¿Qué le he hecho?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
¿Vuelvo aquí?
Again, line. How could you have done that? After we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you
Por la monster.
to hell with it.
Llegamos un segundito. La monster. El que pintó el piso le dio epilepsia. ¡Eh!
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
No me baño, se la estoy dando de ver a re bien.
Why can't we make up
O sea, se la doy a su mensaje en concreto.
daring, mysterious? Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Ok. ¿Me ha abierto una puerta nueva?
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you
No,
want
me da a
this
mí que no,
story to
¿eh?
be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
Ah, vale,
Whatever
ok.
it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for
Estamos volviendo, ¿verdad?
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be
Lo que me hace gracia es que la línea TM. Venga, me voy por el techo.
Ah, a choice.
Sí, sí, lo sé, re bien he jugado a este
Yeah, the
juego
story is
antes.
in our
El quien no
control.
quiere que trabaje.
I think we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a
Yo quiero
lead
un
to
pedazo de
think.
magdalena. Ah, ¿quieres un pedazo de magdalena? Pues yo te doy a ti un pedazo de magdalena. ¿Cómo? Espérate. Espérate a que se reinicie el bucle. ¡Uy!
Which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a
Es que el pintor de la línea se sentía
relief
Picasso.
here.
Como
And that, in
mínimo.
turn, means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right,
¡Señor, te estás rayando!
making the right door lead us to where we're going. And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Vale, gracias. Ahora es cuando me la vuelvo a cerrar.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
¿Así cómo funciona?
That's what this is. It's all one giant ending. And we're supposed to restart the game.
Me quedan no, 4 reinicios más.
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
This
Well,
thin wall.
Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the
Y good,
cycle?
Fede, toca
The,
ser imparable.
Whatever it is that made this schedule?
Sí, he jugado ya de hecho, pero no me gusta Terraria.
Will someone
Por cierto, toma Yoza, para ti.
Something happened. So, okay.
Oli, Wichi, Manape.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this.
Ah, la puerta de la derecha. Llevan las dos al mismo puto sitio.
Not sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime.
No, no, estoy tosiendo, no estornudando. Ahora se ha olvidado de todo, ¿no?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Efectivamente, se ha olvidado.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Pero ahora otra vez está roto. Ah, no.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Me da la mierda.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Pero no se supone que este reinicio no se iba a acordar. Todos sabemos cuál es este final.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing
Este final me encanta.
and got back on track.
Bueno, final entre comillas.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just
¿Cómo le saca de quicio que te quede en el puto trastero?
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
Vamos por cerveza.
Anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sí, estoy mirando lo que han hecho los programadores y los desarrolladores, apreciándolo.
He's still in the broom closet, standing around doing nothing. Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
¿Ya?
You do
Ah, no.
realize there's no text or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley
Una cinta. ¡Guau! Está súper bien hecho.
reason for exploring it to find out, but it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of
¡Una escoba!
no significance whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention.
Espérate, todavía se puede desquiciar más.
Somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Se va volando tu suegra, what the fuck.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really
¡Oh!
he probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drugs.
Me acaban de insultar de gratis el capullo.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Me he muerto.
Broom closet, explored it a bit, and we're just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone
Suegra igual a bruja, es lo mismo, son dos palabras que funcionan exactamente igual.
before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological.
Creo que será algo que voy a entrar.
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of.
Ah, no, he salido antes de tiempo.
Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in.
Espera un momento, no se ve los subtítulos. De hecho, creo que hay un logro que es tocar todos y cada uno de los ajustes del juego y te desbloquea un ajuste nuevo por alguna razón. Creo que era Viscosity, pero no sé qué hace en concreto. Un momento, no puedo. Subtítulo, ¿dónde está? Ah, tamaño del subtítulo, más grande para que lo podáis ver mejor. Vale. Aplicar, no. Aplicar.
On the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the
Que fecha corta el guionista.
commentary of this game is not lost on them.
Pues espérate ahora cuando vuelva a entrar.
Just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on. You. Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of.
Yo empiezo a rascarle el azúcar al pan para echarle al café.
Controls too. The fish, fungus.
¡Bleh!
You can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Está el clásico de rebajar el jabón con agua para que dure más. ¿Qué tal? ¿Ya se ha callado? ¿No va a seguir? La sacas la hoja y ya pones papel, tienes papel de baño. ¡Joder! ¿Ya está? Vale, ya se ha enfadado. ¿Y me vuelvo a meter? No, ¿no? Ya se ha callado, sí, ya se ha desesperado. A lo, me cago en tu puta madre, deja de meterte ahí dentro.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Este final de aquí creo que es el que menos me gusta con diferencia. Así, esto es una nota que sé que es un easter egg de algo, pero no sé de qué ahora mismo.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He would be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe,
Estoy en un bucle.
to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Porque no tengo.
Why did doors close automatically behind
La verdad
him?
es que es muy gusset ver estos juegos y ves una cámara suspendida en el aire cuando lo ves en otra persona que no es la primera.
To himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
O los ítems que llevas en la mano flotando.
Conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all.
De hecho hay un juego... ¿Cómo se llamaba? Creo que era Conrad's Paranormal Investigation o algo así. Que ahora se pueden sacar fotos desde lejos, ¿vale? Y cuando sacas fotos de lejos y tu personaje está en medio, se ven los dos ítems flotando con una cámara en el centro, que es la cámara con la que tú estás viéndolo. Y es como, bruh, si vas a poner un ítem que te permita hacer fotos desde lejos, al menos preocúpate de que se vea el personaje de tu jugador.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Aunque sea por una foto, ¿sabes?
I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying.
Ah, sí, esto es la hostia cuando empieza a flotar.
Ground.
¡Uy!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Es colarte a las fiestas para llevarte la comida de toda la semana. He visto gente capaz de hacerlo, ¿eh? De hecho, me contaron algo súper turbio una vez, que es que hicieron una fiesta de cumpleaños a una persona que yo ni siquiera conozco, ¿vale? Espérate, es que si este juego le quito la narrativa no tiene gracia. Y según tenían que las personas que iban repartir qué iban a comprar cada uno y poner cierta cantidad de dinero, ¿no? Fue una pareja que dijeron que sí que iban, pero no llevaron absolutamente nada de comida ni de bebida, ni pusieron dinero ni nada. Y que cuando acabó la fiesta, como sobraron, no sé si fueron unos 6 litros de refresco y creo que un pollo entero y un poco de pizza, esos mismos que no habían puesto nada de dinero ni habían llevado nada de comida a la fiesta de cumpleaños, se llevaron el pollo, las bebidas y la pizza. Y la gente se quedó a lo what the fuck. También te digo que son tontos por no impedírselo.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
Yo lo busco en sus casas.
Sleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself. Stanley is as awake.
Pero en plan que lo dejaron irse. O sea, yo no lo hubiera dejado.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
Dulces para todo un mes, pero si pongo dinero para las compras... yes. Pero a ver, si has puesto dinero, entiendo que te lleves un poco. Ahí sí que lo entiendo. Y de lo que tú has llevado en todo caso. Aunque sigue siendo feo, ¿vale? Pero llevarte todo lo que se lleva a la noticia, haber puesto un duro y nada, y se puede con vida, ¿no?
Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
No, si,
I'm
si
through with
esas
this
dos
one.
personas
I wish it to be
son...
over. Let me go back to my job.
Son dos
Let me
personas que
continue
tienen...
pushing the
Son de esas
buttons.
que dices, tú me cago
Please.
en todo. ¿Cómo
It's
puede
all I
ser una
want.
persona de esa manera?
I want my
Pues los dos se han
apartment and
juntado.
my
¿Sabéis
wife
eso de Dios los
and
cría y
my
ellos se
job.
juntan? Pues
All I
literal.
want
Ellos
is my life
literal.
exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Porque es que
Everything will
lo
be
más
fine.
rata que he oído de esos dos, aparte de
I
eso,
am
es
happy.
robar. Creo que eran cartas de Amiibo del Carrefour, que es una esta de supermercados que hay aquí.
Stanley
Y
began
automáticamente
screaming.
ponerlo en el
Please,
Wallapop
someone
a
ring me
precios
up. My name is
infladísimos cada
Stanley.
carta.
I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Y muero.
And everything went black.
A ver, llega y les dice, tiene 5 segundos para irse y han pasado 3.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariela,
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
agarro
She
3 kilos
rose, got dressed, gathered her
¿de qué? ¿De
belongings, and walked
carnitas?
to her
Y me
place of
regreso a mi
work.
casa.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Quiero que me vuelvan
It was
todo.
cool
Llevo
to
6.
this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she...
En vez de llamar a la policía. ¡No suena el teléfono!
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
Voy a volver a meterme en el armario. Sí, literalmente, se ha muerto. New content, pero quiero joderle. Ahora voy al new content, quiero joderle primero.
Stanley came to a set of two
Quiero joderle primero con el
he entered
armario.
the door on his left.
Quiero joderle con el armario.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief. Oh no, no, not. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Aquí voy a estar, señor. Creo que ahora no vuelvo a... O sí vuelvo a hablar, no lo sé. Vamos a darle unos cuantos segundos más. Disfruto de la cinta. A ver, creo que si tarda ya tanto en contestar, creo que ya no me va a contestar. Creo que no. No, no tiene pinta.
Coming to a
Voy a
staircase,
subir.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. ¿Por qué dispararía a un panda en la cabeza? Quizás estante esté sucio. El piso está hecho de piso. ¿Está cantando también el tío? ¿Está tarareando? Está tarareando el cabrón al mismo tiempo. Voy a terminar de subir algún año. Ah, vale. Ah, no estaba subiendo, ni estaba bajando, estaba metida y punto. What? Y también me veo necesidad de hacerlo.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth.
Se le ocurrió ponerle música de elevador porque es odioso.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2848, ¿ha dicho? 2845.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his
45?
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
A ver, es que esto es un poco creepy, ¿eh? Ah, creo que ya sé qué final es este. Creo.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Creo que aquí se puede ver a alguien.
Emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Mi pasión.
Never mind.
Joder al narrador.
Went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Ah, para abajo otra vez. Ah, ¿no puedo? Jo. Me han destrozado los sueños.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for
Bully, nunca he jugado ese juego.
an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow.
Oh, que hay una mujer para
I'm
abajo.
bolted to the edge of my seat. Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Me encanta cómo pierde la paciencia conmigo. Vamos para arriba. De adolescente estadounidense. Ah.
Spooky corridor. No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the
Vosotros
boss's
decís que
office
soy un
again?
poco cabrona.
What if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Let's see. Boss office.
Oh my god. It's the boss's
Lo
office.
merece, te insulto encima.
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
What the fuck? Juega juegos que te dejan dudas existenciales. No, este no me deja dudas existenciales. Este simplemente me lo paso bien y ya está.
Prepare to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with
Problemas técnicos.
No, wait.
Tonto bacalao, es su jefe.
No. I need more time to process.
Problemas técnicos por dos. Un tecito. Venga, voy a hacer un tecito mientras porque creo que me da tiempo mientras que lo procesa.
I have fully come to terms with it. Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Ahora vamos a volver a subir, vamos a volver a subir, vamos a volver a subir. Déjame subir, por favor. ¿Qué me va a decir? ¿Qué me va a decir? Otra vez habrá problemas técnicos por 3. ¡Se ha callado! ¡Se ha callado!
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this.
No, no voy a gritar, no voy a
But the
gritar.
suspense. The
Sobre todo a los que tienen mentalidad de gato. A mí me gusta verlo.
That's the real
Pero
thing.
cuando estoy muy ansiosa.
Feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice?
¡Oh, capullo! Me encanta cómo si...
There we
¡Ay,
go. Isn't
cabronazo!
this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces.
Le he agotado la paciencia, ¿eh?
Where's the tension? Trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters. Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really
Es un
all
hijo de
because of you.
puta.
You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over.
Pero porque me apetecía joderte.
Them different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such
Ahí se ve a una persona, se dice, pero yo no lo veo. Al lado de ese camión. Pero yo no lo veo, sinceramente.
And alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face.
No lo veo, se supone que está ahí.
You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you. So that you can talk.
No, que no lo veo, te lo juro.
in your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them.
Mira una chapa que me está echando el cabrón, ¿eh?
A tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here. Okay.
Sí, ese. Porque lo he visto a veces en referencias. Esto creo que es del juego nuevo.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Ok.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going
Qué
to speak
elegancia.
a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling. And
What the
it means to craft a
Stanley
truly
reveals
unpredictable narrative.
all in his new book.
You'll do great.
Y su book es
You're
Up
so
Again, Down Again.
full of heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
El libro se llama Arriba, otra vez y abajo otra vez.
It looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
¿Qué pone? Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from. You got workers. Ok. ¿Qué pone? Break a leg. Stanley, me, dad. Age 6. Thanks for showing me that keyboard in the parking. You're too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. Otro de rompete la pierna. I love the no sé qué you ride. I love the way you ride the elevators. Me gusta la manera en la que sube en el ascensor. Nadie cuenta historias como tú. Stanley, ¿qué pone ahí? Mi verdad, my true love for you grows. Mi amor por ti crece cada día. Me hace sentir vivo. Viva, tu mujer. De... El final del apartamento. ¿Qué cojones? Tu mujer del final del apartamento. Toda una estrella Stanley. What? ¿Y? Todo esto por subir y bajar el ascensor. ¡Vámonos! Salúdalos, Stanley. Let's go.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this
¿Cómo que no?
Stanley's office?
¿Y no? Ahora voy, quiero volver a joderle con el armario, por favor, dejadme que le joda con el armario. Creo que ya debería de estar cerrado, no estoy muy segura.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
No, otra vez la chamba. Debería estar limpio. Buah, entonces voy y me pongo a subir y bajar el ascensor como desquiciado. No me importa que deje de funcionar. 5000. No va a abrirse.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Vale. Subo a la oficina de mi jefe. Vale, allí. Era 2...
Stepping into his manager's office,
What?
Stanley was once
2,
again
8.
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could
5.
it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't good, so he relaxed for a few moments.
Ok, si se puede decir en stream, sí. Si no, cuidado. Hollywood DC, ¿cómo estás, DC? Esto es por haber puesto el código rápido, ¿no? De lo que te perdiste. Un closet muy llamativo.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
¿Me volverá a dejar subir y bajar todo lo que quiera? Voy a probar a subir una vez y si se vuelve a repetir el diálogo bajo, ¿vale? Voy a subir y bajar en un ascensor. A ver qué me dice.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley
No, se repite. Entonces voy a bajar y voy a seguir para adelante.
Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question.
Muy bien, ocupado con cosas, pero ya con todo terminado. Nice, me alegro. ¡Qué timo! Voy a bajar. No, me va a hacer volver a la oficina para que la mire. Y entonces volver. Vale. No, a lo mejor digo, a lo mejor lo vuelvo a molestar. ¡Holi, Jaime!
Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. Still just exactly what it is. What it is.
No se le olvide comer arepitas.
Come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical...
Vale, ahora sí voy a seguir
one
avanzando.
after the other.
He abierto stream hace una hora.
Compromising narrative. Wow.
Qué peor que
I'm
despertar.
bolted to the edge of my seat.
Pintado en la cara a descubrir que te lo calcaron. ¡Bleh!
Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen,
Suena a un chiste que yo haría.
all this.
Vale, ahora sí, voy a seguir para adelante.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky... Stanley walked straight
Y...
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Este se supone que es final, ¿no? Este es en el que te mueres y este es final, creo. Este es el del spoiler.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Premio.
Did he have the strength to find out?
Señor, me he spoileado antes, así que no me va a sorprender absolutamente nada.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where...
Me encanta como pone despedido. Y creo que hay otro despedido. No de esa pantalla que está como bugueada, pero no sé cuál es. ¿Cuál era Stanley? ¿El 427? ¿Puede ser? 427. Esa de ahí. Efectivamente, es el cuarto de Stanley.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Un consejo más bien frase sería: mientras más negra la noche, más brillan las estrellas. Oye, es muy bonito. Me llaman Oemro o como que Oemro. ¿Es algún poeta? O sea, lo siento si suena ignorante, pero de poesía... Romeo. Romeo. Ah, vale. Por un momento había leído me llaman Oreo y digo, hostia, le llamo como a mi perra.
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Me suena que era aquí.
For he would dismantle the controls once
Podía activar
and
una
for
bomba.
all.
Me quiere sonar eso. A ver. 1, 2. ¿Dónde está el 3? ¿Y el 3? ¿Dónde está el 3? Ahí arriba hay un botón. What? ¿No puedo subir? 1, 2. Esos son el 1 y el 2. ¿Dónde está el 3? ¿Dónde está el 3? Ahí hay un botón. ¡3! Ahora debería dejarme subir por aquí. ¿Puto? ¿No puedo? ¿Cómo podría hacerlo de 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Me soy pendejo. Estoy bien. ¿Cómo estás tú, Jaime? Te he equivocado. Tiempo
And when at
completo.
last he found the
Autocorrector.
source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his
Yo
obligation,
me decía, estudiaste pa'
to end
pendejo.
to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Pero si yo no tengo los anuncios activados, ¿cómo es posible que te salgan anuncios? ¡Off! Bien y algo enojado. Pues que se te pase lo enojado. No he oído el sonido del creeper explotando, no sé por qué.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
3000 desperdiciados. No se ha oído, no sé por qué.
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had
Empieza a sonar la música del jefe final.
but to let go.
Y no sé por qué en mi cabeza ha empezado a sonar la música de Sif.
Or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was
Vale, ahora sí voy a meter al contenido nuevo. Porque ya me ha cerrado el armario. Ya no puedo volver a entrar al armario.
Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Acabamos en Perú.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley
Was happy. ¿Ya empieza el juego de nuevo otra vez? Sí, ¿no? Logro desbloqueado. Termina el juego. Logro desbloqueado. Consigue tu primer logro. Manda un logro para hacer un logro.
all of his co-workers were gone.
Vale, ahora sí voy a entrar en el New
Stanley
Content.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New Content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Esto sí que se supone que es lo nuevo del Ultra Deluxe. Del otro, obviamente, nunca he conseguido todos los finales. Pero me apetece más ver lo de... el contenido nuevo.
Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in
2013, ¿eh?
on home
Hace ya
computers.
10 años.
After receiving
What?
critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game
Divirtiéndote
for
más que en
consoles
otros
and
juegos.
home computers.
No me estoy divirtiendo más que en otros juegos, no sé. El juego está para reírte, ¿eh? Me divierto igual en todo. Pero en este me río más. Madre mía. Si lo presentan súper cutre, pero ¿y lo que le habrá costado hacer esto?
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Okidoki, arigato por pasarte, Jaime. Y que se te pase el enfado.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh.
Ah, vale, ahora.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new
¿Qué
content.
será el contenido nuevo? ¿Qué será el contenido nuevo?
Let's do it.
No, me he metido al contenido nuevo.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra...
La verdad es que es un poco cutre si esto es la expansión, ¿no?
It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the
Ah.
content, Stanley.
¿Qué?
All right. All right, let's see. It's... the jump circle?
¡Puedo saltar! ¡Puedo saltar! ¡Puedo saltar! Yo no puedo saltar.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be
Me
something
dieron un logro
else.
por conseguir un logro y fue el último de los disponibles. El contenido de nuevo es una caja. ¿Te imaginas ser un rickroll o un troleo así? ¿Te imaginas? Sí, creo que eran solo esos 36 saltos. Vaya puta mierda, ¿no?
Another elevator. Stanley,
Another elevator.
Initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just
No, para mí tampoco.
and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours.
Ese era el contenido nuevo. ¿Te imaginas que solo eso?
Counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good.
Eh?
Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new content.
You've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when...
Gracias por disfrutar del nuevo contenido.
For their fan base, rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievement, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this?
Cabrones que son. ¿Te imaginas pagar otra vez por un juego solo por esta mierda?
Hold them
No
personally.
tienen mejores contenidos de la historia del
It's
gaming.
my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have...
Número uno. No, 36, 36. Eran 36.
If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Es que este juego es una joya. Es que lo digo de verdad, este juego es una joya. Da igual cuántas veces lo puedas llegar a jugar. Es que se ve divertido siempre. Y aunque te sepan los finales, te sigue haciendo gracia.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
A eso es para seguir. ¿Y esto? Sunset. Coffee Nut. ¿Me rompo las piernas? Al menos te dieron algo. Hay juegos donde el nuevo contenido es una piedra. 100% real. Hoy día te venden... Es que los micropagos de mierda o... Es que no hemos sacado el juego completo porque no daba tiempo, así que cómpratelo en cómodos DLCs. ¿Qué cojones? ¿Me he metido en Skyrim?
I call it the memory zone. It's where I've
The
installed
memory
all my
zone.
favorite memories so I can
A ver, una
relive
pared
the
que diga,
peak
el pastel es una
experiences of my
mentira.
life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Memory Zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you
Don't
how
forget.
wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was solid with a cheap re-release?
¿Qué cojones?
Back in October of 2013.
¡Hay una puta captura de Steam! ¡No puede ser que hayan hecho eso de poner una captura de Steam! ¡Holy Senpoi! ¡No puede ser! Estoy esclavizadísima.
Back then, video games had integrity. Back then,
Collector's
it all-
Edition.
Oh, the waste.
Audience Award en el 2014. Le ha pegado la pegatina de Stanley Parable. ¿Qué pone? Awarded to no sé qué. Straley. Pues no sé. The Last of Us. In the category Story. Ha tapado The Last of Us para poner Stanley Parable. ¿Qué cojones? Good times. ¿Qué cojones? ¿Es una captura de Mozilla Firefox? No, genio. Los juegos, los vídeos de Slap Battle de Among Us. No, porque no soy muy aficionada al de Among Us, la verdad. What the fuck. Son todos postales. ¿Qué cojones es esto? Un señor con su perro. I remember. The Memory Zone. ¿Y eso? Our first kiss, my first car, the release of Star. Dice, nuestro primer beso, mi primer coche, el lanzamiento de Stanley Parable en 2013. Ah, ¿son guiones del juego? 8 y 13. 8 y 13. A trip down memory lane. Smile because it happened. Este dólar. $1. O sea, han cogido un JPG de $1 y lo han puesto en el juego, literalmente. The Stanley Parable Demonstration. Eso creo que fue una demo que hicieron, no estoy segura. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. Es verdad, este puto logro. Tienes que abrir el juego y no volver a jugar hasta dentro de 5 años para que te dé el puto logro. Unachievable. It's impossible to get this achievement. Este he leído que se puede, mediante una mierda en el código, conseguir. Nominee. New video game releasing today. Creators surprisingly down to earth. Nah. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. ¿Por qué? ¿What? No puedo con este juego, de verdad. No puedo con este juego. El efecto en cine, al menos sí está divertidísimo. Dólar. ¡No han puesto la foto de la muerte! ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué es esto? In loving memory, little Stanley. ¡Oh! ¡Es un jatecito! ¡Es un jatecito!
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable.
¿Cuántos juegos? O sea, ¿cuántos premios ha ganado?
Of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "We're so many games that aspire to be
¿De
more
verdad han
than
hecho
games
capturas
and
de
are less
pantalla
than
de
any form of art.
las putas páginas
Stanley
web?
Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created.
40 minutos dura ese vídeo.
Stanley.
What?
Every game ever created. That's
¿Me lo
how
puedes
grand
pasar
and
por
all-encompassing the
mensaje
original
privado
Stanley Parable
a
was.
Discord?
It was
Porfa, que es que ahora mismo no puedo
every
copiar el
game
enlace.
ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3.
Ah, ¿ya lo he
it was
visto?
all of them. And now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk.
El señor está teniendo una
With
crisis
hours of
existencial acojonante, ¿no?
content.
Ah, vale, ¿ya puedo seguir? ¿Y esto? Memory Zone Maintenance. Vale, ¿está en mantenimiento? ¿Puedo entrar? Ah, no, digo que sí. ¿Y esto? ¿Por qué hay una foto del Minecraft, de la típica casa de mierda de tierra que te hacen de 2x2? No, perdón, 2x1. ¿Qué cojones? Solo son dos Among Us peleándose. Ah, joder, esa es mi casa. Pobre actor de voz que narra todo el maldito juego. Creo que lo llamaron de nuevo para volver a hacer estas líneas nuevas. Obviamente, claro. ¡Portal! ¡Portal! Cabrones que son, de verdad. Top 10 Memories from Stanley Parable. Uy. La señora que bebe muerta. O sea, muerto. El Stanley. What? ¿Esto qué es? What? ¿Son planos de cómo está hecho el juego? ¿Qué cojones? Edición coleccionista. No sé ni... No sabía ni que tenía edición coleccionista. Un smiley. Your number is 29. People playing because of what they can do inside it. And your game is very good. And letting them know they can do anything. Dice, la gente juega videojuegos porque pueden hacer... por lo que pueden hacer dentro de ellos. Y tu juego es muy bueno en hacerles saber que no pueden hacer nada. Literalmente nada.
Here's another moving passage, this time from
Okay.
GameSpot.com.
Create levels,
Stanley
graphics.
Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary
Carpet
on the nature of
texture.
choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable,
Quiero un pastel,
surprising,
maldita guía de
rewarding
Portal.
choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stan?
Pero literal, mira, podéis ver el nombre del usuario y la foto.
It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
¿Has abierto otra puerta, mamá?
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all
se ha visto
over
esto.
again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Pues tiene un problema si no lo recuerda, ¿eh?
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley.
Reviews.
The reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
¿Cojones? Una buena.
Honestly, I could not be
Una
bothered to
negativa.
take this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of
Me encanta cómo lo leí súper indignado.
The game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Son unos cabrones que han pensado y en todo, no se han dejado nada. ¿Otra buena? Otra negativa.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
No, no eres preachy, no te preocupes.
Shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I have
Mira el usuario.
the game's dialogue has been
Expose.
rather terse.
Así expuesto.
You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold
Sí,
on
sí,
to.
sí, las visibles son las malas. Yo creo que es para que vaya a buscar el comentario, ¿eh?
God, I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly
Cookie 9.
anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip
Va a buscarlo a ver si existen de verdad.
couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the
Uy, ¿qué pasa?
That's my motto today, and
¿Qué
it's
cojones?
always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall.
Me va a poner un botón de omitir. What?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to...
Del usuario Cookie 9.
To me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to
Cuando se calla,
Don't
¿eh?
sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun.
Venga, le doy.
Oh, you're back, you see? You were only
Back.
frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the part.
Siempre divagas, señor, pero eso es lo mejor del
Go off on
juego.
a thoughtless display of self-absorption. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
¿Nani?
Unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why this is getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer.
And
My
don't
God,
push
there's no
anything
way
o
out
no
of the
presiones
room.
nada. ¿Eso qué es? ¿Un
Stanley,
vídeo
the
o
door
un
is
juego? Es
gone.
que ahora
It's
mismo no lo
completely
sé.
gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
¿Cuánto tiempo ha pasado? ¡Oh, una semana! ¿Qué dices, loco?
Here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly... Oh, hello, it's you.
¿Qué ha pasado?
You're here again, welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
¿Cuánto tiempo ha pasado? Quiero que me
So
diga
much
eso.
time, I stopped keeping track after a year.
¡Un año! ¡Hostia, le he dado al botón sin querer! ¡Se ha muerto! De películas que no se merecían ser olvidadas. Yo empiezo. El planeta del tesoro. No es una joya de película, pero es una de las que más me gustan. En Latinoamérica se llamará distinto. Por cierto, el planeta del tesoro, muy de acuerdo con eso. Dos rubias de pelo en pecho. ¿Cuánto tiempo ha pasado? ¿Qué es lo que pita? Pipi, 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 pipi. No hay nada. Pues pulsar el botón de nuevo. Ah, es eso.
But they didn't understand
¡Oliwichi,
that it was
rica!
never meant to be
¡Arigato por el
Llegó
beat!
la pajará.
to the human condition. But where are the jokes?
Oliwichi, ¿cómo estás?
They gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough.
Entertain
They had
us.
to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability.
Venga, cállate otra vez. A ver cuánto tiempo ha pasado. ¿Lo he vuelto a matar? Matar. Le va a dar algo. Steven que esquipearlo, Facundex. The end is never the end. The end is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end. Oye, agua. Ah, se está filtrando agua por aquí arriba. ¿Cómo está, rica? ¿Eh? Vale. ¿Se va a romper ese? ¿Cuánto tiempo ha pasado? Ah, lo que no sé si aumenta exponencialmente el tiempo que estoy aquí dentro. Esto se empieza a parecer mucho a Portal. Como too much. Creo que la idea del botón de skip no era esta. What? Se fue toda la caca. ¿Qué ha pasado? ¿Por qué esto qué está tan turbio? De nada aparece un adelanto del Half-Life 3, ¿te imaginas? Tanto tiempo se lleva pidiendo, ¿te imaginas que algún día nace de verdad el Half-Life 3? ¿Qué ha pasado? ¡Oh! Where am I? ¿Le puedo volver a dar al botón? Por cierto, ¿habéis visto el tráiler del Five Nights at Freddy? No puedo volver a darle, ¿verdad? No. Me recuerda a cuando sales en Portal de las instalaciones. No sé qué tengo que hacer. ¿De qué, rica? Dime de qué lo quieres. Por ti, arigato por otros 10 bits. ¿De qué quieres el collab? ¿De qué? Tell me. Ah, hemos empezado de nuevo.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something.
Pero quería darte bits antes. Pero tú mándame un mensaje antes de ir a mimir en Twitter de qué quieres hacer colas conmigo. Dímelo. Tú mándame un mensaje, sin miedo. No te he dicho nada últimamente porque estoy con el redebut que no puedo con mi vida. De hecho, he hecho menos stream por eso, en parte. Ok. Por cierto, que pase buena noche. Y arigato por pasarte.
And about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one
¿Qué ha pasado?
even further. Which is why
Ponte en pantalla cuando vamos. ¡Oh! ¡Nice! ¿Qué te has pillado? Stanley Parable 2. The end is never the end again. Mejor PC. ¡Ah, es verdad! Que leí que te iba a montar la torre nueva. Es verdad. El Alzheimer. Lo leí. Wow. Estas capturas de pantallas que me ponen en las paredes porque sí.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
¿Quieres Fornite, por ejemplo? Obviamente hoy no, pero ¿quieres Fornite, por ejemplo?
Now that's an artistic statement.
New hotness.
It's future oriented. It screams progress and innovation.
They are back, 2 doors.
Franchising potential.
¿Vale? Luego hay ideas. Perdón. Luego hay días. Oye, la verdad es que están todos chulos. Oye, me gusta mucho este. El de Stanley Parable. Thanks for attending my meeting. Este es el típico que te marcas cuando haces una exposición en clase. Pero es que está con la fotito de mierda. Stanley Parable 2.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some
2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 arms, 2 legs.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy
To the show
magic
floor,
than anything
¿vale?
scientific or
New
logical.
features. Ok, ¿a dónde me lleva este señor?
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
¿Mis emotes te gustan? A ver, como mucho los tienes en Discord, otra cosa no puedo hacer. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Vale. Merge. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. That's new. Collectibles. Infinite Hole. Free. New Easy Achievement. ¿A cuál queréis que vaya? Al de el botón, al del cubo, al de los coleccionables, el del logro o el agujero infinito. Me vale cualquier cosita. Ok, pues mañana, si no se me va la cabeza porque está muy ocupada, porque Rica, no sé si la has visto, ha adoptado una perrita. Estoy entre el reboot y la perrita, que no vivo. Entonces a ver si no me olvido mañana de mandarte un mensaje, ¿vale? Incluso Gartic estará gracioso con Lux. Pues también. Mañana te envío un mensaje, también le envío otro a Lux a ver qué dice. Por Dios santo que no se me olvide que se suscriba, si no, cof. Al Infinite Hole, pues al Infinite Hole. ¿Es por ahí o por aquí? No screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration.
Ay, bruh, me he metido donde no era. Lo siento, Facunda.
Sunday and happy 12th birthday. Which would you go with?
Ok, recordarme. Ay, arigato por estos 10 bits, rica. Y mucho arigato por pasarte, de verdad. A ver si mañana no se me olvida. Madre mía, me los va a leer todos. Me los va a leer todos.
Pato, pájaro, abeja, mariquita, caracol, caracol, dos corazones,
Descansa tú, buenas noches, rica.
dos corazones.
Yo también te quiero. Arigato por pasarte. Creo que esto está más gracioso. El Happy 12th Birthday, Stepnies. ¿Me va a poner el de Get Well Someday? Ah, puedo ir a lo del agujero, ¿Bancito? No, bancito, no hay bancito. Opening, rim, dead. Rounding area. What the fuck? Time, death. What the fuck? Infinity. ¿Puedo subir? Ah, no.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward. You see? Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do.
Esto tiene que ser una referencia a Portal, pero fijísimo. Oliwichi Megami. ¿Cómo estás, Megami?
Press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
No. Vamos a seguir cayendo. I wanna keep falling.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
No quiero.
We do it on the
Oblígame.
sooner rather than later.
¡Buah! ¡Qué infinito! Seguro que va a haber fondo. Es que me lo estoy yendo venir. Es que va a haber fondo.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? It sort of depends on your definition of
Bien,
infinity.
empezando a trabajar.
From one perspective,
Nice.
the infinite is
¿Llega al fondo?
philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole.
New Mag.
Help me out, Stanley. I'm a liar.
A ver, un momento.
And you're so
Meeting at 2 p.m.
The issue here
Sincerely,
is that you're
management.
unusually fascinated by falling.
Ya estoy bien, Megami.
Actually wants to fall infinitely.
Esperamos el fondo, espera, reclamar las cosas gratis. No. Llevo 3 o 4 días sin entrar. Every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. Joder, con el 2. Just the two of us. We can make if we try. Just the two of us. Building castle is in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. What the fuck. Estas tonterías que dejan en el suelo los desarrolladores. ¿Y si me vuelvo a tirar? ¿Y si me marco la del ascensor?
I'm very excited to show you even more. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person. That's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time.
Oliwichi Night.
But not you.
Hello, ya.
No. You have a weird sort of...
Ah, es más corto.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time.
Oli Wichi, ¿cómo estás? ¿Te gustan los agujeros?
Make an infinite hole.
¡Oli Lux! Ha venido, espera, ha venido Rika hace literalmente 5 minutos y me ha dicho que quiere collab y que también te lo comente a ti.
Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole,
Me gustan los agujeros,
the teleport button,
pero los del
come
culo.
join me up. Had enough? I'm positive.
Ay, ya no sé, a mí no me digas.
How could I have guessed? Back in the hole.
¡Es más corto todavía!
Thing where- Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets
Vale.
any shorter.
A ver si se ve más
There it
corto.
is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not in... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this touching the...
Este es cine.
Oh, who am I to judge?
Sabe, cabrón, qué cabrón. ¿Qué pasa, Luke? ¿Qué pasa? Estoy perturbado con lo de los agujeros.
Ready to move on.
No me deja.
Is the teleport button not
Es
working?
un agujerito.
You sure?
¡No funciona!
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
No, no funciona. ¡Y no puedo saltar!
Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you're getting...
¿Me va a dejar metido en el agujero?
Thus, it's a win for everyone. You get to be
¡Capullo!
I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
¡Se ha ido! ¡Hijo de puta! ¿Qué cojones? No lo sé si va a volver. Vale, vale volver. Pues no lo sé. ¿Ah? ¡Oh! Estamos yendo más... Se está haciendo más grande, ¿eh? Agujero. Bueno, grande no, técnicamente más profundo. Mi hoyo se expande. No puede ser esto, de verdad. Reírte, básicamente. Eso es el juego. No tengo más que decirte, Night. What the fuck? De la realidad total. What the fuck? What
Stanley? 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 Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland.
¡Ah, estás soñando!
Because this whole is fascinating that I want you to be wise.
Nay, te puedo explicar un poquito mejor el juego, que básicamente tú tienes que seguir sus órdenes del narrador porque está contando tu historia, pero bueno, te puedes imaginar que menos seguir sus órdenes haces de todo.
From the looks of things, you and I
Yo también.
here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back.
¿Otra vez? Ah, me ha reiniciado el juego. Era esperable. Qué cabrón el guionista despertándonos. Ah, ok.
Go on, try out some of the
Yo quiero ver el cubo. Ah, ¿y esto que me ponen en el screenshot? Lo de antes, ¿no? Ah, sí, lo de los globos. ¡Quiero ver lo del cubo!
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was
Just pick it up.
paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well,
No hay
I'm
ningún...
happy to say that after much
ningún cubo.
consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the
¿Pone
game.
ahí?
It's the Stanley
Don't
Parable
talk
reassurance
to
bucket.
me before
You see,
I've
Stanley, every time you're holding
had
yourself, a sense of
my
calm
sequel. No me hable hasta que tenga mi secuela.
in your heart. It's true.
Pero señor, te olvidas de algo, no tengo cubo. Ah, está aquí.
The orienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be
A contar que terminé mi primer templo del Zelda y lloré como una niña chiquita. ¿Por qué?
redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be?
Bucket.
The bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body.
¡Wow! Tengo un cubo. Mi vida se ha vuelto muchísimo mejor. Yes, llevo un tiempo sin utilizarlo porque es que no tengo tiempo de hacer reels, pero sí tengo TikTok. Sí. No hay llanto de tristeza, es de emoción. Ya, me imaginaba que no era de tristeza. Vale, ya tengo el cubo. ¡Tengo un cubo!
For most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
¿Y esto? Red is the new orange. What? Vamos a ver el... ¿Ah, y esto? ¿Qué es? Ah, epílogo.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
El del botón.
Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players
Too
really
big, too small, just
Of
right.
course, the first and most
Muy grande, muy pequeño.
is that they want to be
Perfecto.
individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, sorry,
Yo no me llamo Jim.
right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button
Me gusta.
whatever
Arigato,
the
piwicho.
name is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim. Really
¿Cagar?
celebrate
No lo
your
sé, creo que no.
experience with the feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named
Que no me llamo Jim, hostia, me llamo Fere.
Imagine yourself. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If
Joder,
you don't
señor.
properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing
¿Me
it
da agua
again.
quizá? ¿Guardar
This
algo?
time, let me
Qué
finish
profundo.
first.
O simplemente mantenerlo vacío.
Allow
Pero lleno de
yourself to
pensamientos.
become Jim.
No me llamo Jim.
Imagine to work as Jim, playing
En todo caso sería Feretomoe Jim.
Staying up all night for a popcorn and
Por cierto,
horror
¿cómo
movie
estás,
sequences.
piwicho?
Developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim. Rediscovering yourself through fringe All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim.
¡Que no me llamo Jim!
I'm done with this button. Why don't
I'm
you
done with this
put it
button.
in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But no. Instead, I can't even think.
La verdad es que la persona que se llame Jim tiene que decir este puto juego es la hostia. Ay, pero no me quite el botón. Pero... ¡Me ha quitado el botón! Me ha quitado el botón. Sí, me siento bien, pero no me llamo Jim. Oh, ¿qué más? Los collectibles.
Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Claro, quien se llame Jim, pero que no se llame Jim. Oh, y el achievement, el del achievement. Espera, ¿de Jump Circle? Pero, de Jump Circle, no puedo.
The jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your...
Logro desbloqueado, no puedes saltar.
Circle? Oh well.
He hecho eso,
Just be a
Jim.
nice decorative piece then.
Vale, lo último los collectibles. Primero el Get It Here. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. Vale, ok.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come... Okay, perhaps I should...
¡No funciona!
This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Oh, yo quiero mi logro imposible de conseguir con la palanquita. ¿Y qué pone ahí? Welcome. Pues solo quedan los collectibles.
What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Collectibles. Can't you find them? ¿Vale? ¿Qué cojones?
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly
Pues lo siento, ya no puedo.
no reward for collecting all of them.
¿Qué
I
cojones?
don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move them around with your life.
Uno de 6. Hay 6 bueno, 5 coleccionables repartidos por el juego.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely
You are
tragic.
This map, free achievement, the battle and say the name, merch, setting, world champion, office decorations, epílogo, collectibles, infinite hole. Creo que lo he visto todo ya, Oli Wichillosa. Pues nada, hemos visto todo el supuesto contenido nuevo del Stanley Parable.
Everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Se llama Jim ahora. Eso es por el juego también, que hay un botón que dice según el nombre del jugador, pero se llama... lo único que dice es Jim. Jim.
So Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know.
Madre mía, ahora puedo ir con un cubo. Puedo ir con un cubo. Esto es emocionante. Esto es cine. Esto es juego. This is gaming.
It's going to work.
No, no tengo sueño. Ahora mismo no.
Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
¿Qué me va a dar?
I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
¿Qué me va? Vaya puta mierda, ¿no?
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
A ver, el
sort of-
potencial hay, pero vaya puta mierda, señor.
Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes.
¿Qué va a
This is
hacer?
much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Wow.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own.
Wow, son buenísimos los chistes, señor.
Play of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go
¿Qué va a
ahead.
hacer?
Take a look.
¿Stanley Parable 2? ¿Alerta sísmica? ¿Nani? ¿Are you cheat or night?
A man named
¡Ten cuidado! Cualquier empresa de juegos con su secuela.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 4.
Madre mía, ha llenado la oficina del globo.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
La verdad, esto es la representación de lo que es estar estancado en tu trabajo,
Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Se encontró un cubo.
Quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable
Cuando
to
llegan y
move for the
dicen, yo soy el
longest
Stanley
time.
Parable 2, ¿te
But as he
imaginas?
came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Espera, ¿qué pone ahí abajo? Ah, vale, creía que era algún easter egg.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
De verdad, ha
Stanley
puesto
decided to
todos
go
los
to the
putos
meeting.
globos en la oficina.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Me ha puesto el cubo.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
¡No voy a cogerlo!
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire.
No. Voy a hacer uno de...
Yes. This
Voy a ver
was
si consigo cabrearlo por no coger el cubo.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No me da la gana. Voy a seguir para adelante.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
¡Ey! ¡Oh! ¡Colisionable! ¡Ajú! Nice!
One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Ok. He leído que antes podías bajar aquí abajo sin matarte por un glitch, pero no sé cómo funciona. Bien hecho, Jim.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun.
¿Y esto?
That it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the
¿Es una grabación?
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a
Ah, vale,
silly
sí me lo he creído, lo siento.
all the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording. It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate story.
Aquí,
It must be
nice.
so simple to be
Este
you.
juego contadores de contenido. Demasiadas. Tiene muchísimas. Creo que hay uno que tienes que estar, no sé, un final, ¿vale? Para un final, no sé cuántas horas tienes que estar.
Now I've become sad. Look what
De
you've
hecho,
done to me.
hay un mapa de cómo tienes que jugarlo. Ahora sí, eso lo busco y os lo enseño. Que supongo que lo habrán actualizado con lo de el nuevo contenido. Venga, un final más y ya sigo el jueves que viene.
Maybe Stanley would never pick up the bucket.
No voy a picar.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley
Vale.
knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get
Vale.
back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be
¿Y si me mato?
but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
A ver, espera, quiero ver qué pasa si vuelvo a pasar por delante del cubo y sudo del cubo otra vez.
Mean.
¿Qué es esto?
Stanley decided to go
Meeting
to the
today.
Perhaps he had simply
Figuring Finders Committee. Ok. No quiero cubo.
Stanley, pick up the bucket.
I pick up the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Apoyo. Gracias. Pues ¿sabes qué? Ahora me voy a meter en el armario con el cubo.
The bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Estoy un poco toca cojones, me ha cerrado la puerta. Me ha cerrado la puerta para que volviera a cogerlo por cojones. No había otra manera. Ah, mira, ya he cogido 2. Oh, lol. Looks like 4th to 7. Joder, no sé por qué me ha costado tanto leerlo. There will be a reward for fighting the all. Vale, habrá una recompensa por encontrarlos todos. Mentiras. Dejad de engañados. Yo también lo quiero. Quiero irme a casa. Por favor, hay que limpiar esta pared. Pone... Fight there be, just take it from me. Cocha calena. Vale. Hay uno en unas escaleras. Otro en algo rojo y azul. Otro cerca de una chimenea. Y otro es un lugar privado pero apestoso para una importante persona. Supongo que será un baño. Wow. How we can fight him. El pastel es una mentira.
Can you feel it?
Y si esperaba, pues creo que no lo sé. Voy a probarlo.
Can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
¿Mi voz en inglés? ¿Tanto me cambia la voz en inglés?
It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion.
Habla en inglés.
And lifelong friend.
Pensándolo no me sale. Si es leyéndolo me sale mejor.
Getting it a name.
Espérate a que me pongan algo en inglés delante otra vez de nuevo y entonces lo leo.
That it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket. Stanley,
¿Tú estás para meterme dentro del armario?
for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object?
¿Qué le pasa? ¿Por qué se está rayando tanto?
In an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together.
¿Pero por qué no traduce como balde? Si es un cubo, un bucket es un cubo.
Detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Voy a esperarme.
Okay.
Ahí
I've
está.
got you something which I think will help settle this debate
¿Qué me
once
va a
and
dar?
for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No
¡Pero perdido,
more
Stanley!
discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Vamos a esperar un poquito más. No puede haber terminado,
I've got a second
efectivamente.
sticker here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is.
¡No! Ahora está contento y no sé por qué me está dando pegatinas.
Ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself,
It is a bucket.
it. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
¡Wow! Amazing. ¿Ya está? ¿Se volvió loco quizás? No, no creo.
The name calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display.
Se ha enfadado con el armario, no conmigo.
Like I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies, easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
¡Se ha vuelto a ir! ¿Y salgo? Ahora se ha ido de verdad, ¿no? Pero que se ha ido, loco. ¿Que se ha ido? Se ha ido, no narra.
Coming to a staircase,
¡Ah! Se espera que me fuera.
bosses off it.
Era uno de una escalera. Si hay un coleccionable, tiene que estar aquí.
Stanley figurine. This,
¡Nice! 3 de 6.
Snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs.
Stanley Figs.
Stanlerines. Yes.
Stanley
Like
Rings.
that.
What the
Another
fuck?
Stanlerine under your belt. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility.
No puede ser que este final.
admitting he had
No
left
puede
his
ser que
first
este final no
job.
sea distinto con el cubo en la mano.
And in
Vamos a
such
ver.
competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All
Acabo este final y ya seguimos el juego,
his
¿vale?
boss would think he was
Ahora
crazy.
sí.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself,
Maybe.
maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the
Me
bucket.
encanta el acento británico, lo digo de verdad, es precioso.
The bucket returned his gaze, but said
Es como...
nothing.
Oh.
That's
O
strange,
cada
Stanley.
Stanleycito tiene una cara diferente. Pues la verdad es que no lo sé. No me he fijado.
For me, in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal...
Es un balde común y corriente.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all
Es
terribly
distinto
wrong.
con el
Very
cubo al
little
final.
from this.
¡Oh, me lo ha
Don't
quitado,
know
me lo ha
what sort of
quitado!
bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating.
El cubo es profundo.
Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley!
What?
Stanley, it's me!
It's me, the bucket.
could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
What the
He had to find the
fuck?
bucket. He had to return to his old
No,
friend.
no se
He
está
was the only way
achicando.
to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside.
¿Qué cojones?
It was
Pero you read this in your voice in English is
Stanley
oof,
doubled
marry me. I read it in English.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
I can marry you.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose,
I simply can.
picked up her bucket of comfort and security.
Todavía me acuerdo cuando descubrí. What the fuck, lleva la señora también un cubo en la mano.
Her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was.
Que no tenía su bucket.
No bucket. Of course, he'd gone mad. Ranting
Of
and raving
course.
about the narrator describing
F por el night.
and how everything is predetermined and free will is
Mi cubo.
a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Ahora quiero un balde. Vale, pues lo voy a dejar aquí, ¿vale? Lo voy a dejar aquí. Espera. Hay algo para leer en inglés que mate a Nai. Figuring Finders Committee. Meeting today in the meeting room. ¿Ves lo que provocas? No solo provoco horniness, sino que provoco la apetencia de tener un cubo. No, de tener un bucket. Le voy a dejar aquí, chicos. Muchas arigato por venir, como siempre. Espero que os haya gustado y nos vemos ya. A ver si puede ser mañana por la noche. No lo aseguro, ¿vale? Voy a ver si voy a poder. Dependiendo de cómo vea esta noche lo que avanzo, ¿vale? Ya os diré mañana un par de horitas antes, que hoy es que se me ha olvidado al decirlo. Quiero un cubo ahora. I want a bucket. A lo mejor se te ¿cómo se dice esto? Se te materializa uno delante. Narrador de Stanley Parable. I want a bucket. Mi cubo es mi único amigo. Muchas gracias por venir, chicos. Espero que os haya gustado y nos vemos el próximo día. Que tengáis un buen resto de jueves y los días que sean hasta que nos vamos a ver. We need a bucket. Pero I want a bucket, please. I don't have a bucket. Nos vemos el próximo día, chicos. Tened cuidado. Bye bye. Ay, un chito hermoso. Oye, espérate que tengo que salir primero el juego. Bye bye. A traer el bucket mañana de stream. Hostia, si mañana puedo hacer el stream, me traigo un bucket. I have anxiety without the bucket. Y a vosotros, night. Bye bye. Buenas noches, Dese. Buenas noches, Yosa. Buenas noches, Facunde. Buenas noches a todos. Bueno, antes de buenas nochear, ¿no? Dadme un segundo. A ver si está. A ver si hay alguien en el stream. Dadme un segundo para hacer una raid. No. Y Alejo. ¿Alejo está? ¿Alejo? No. No hay nadie. Nadie. Entonces no puedo hacer raid. Muchas gracias de nuevo por venir, chicos. Ahora mismo... The whole world is against me. The back is in my only ally. ¿Cuándo me he vuelto tan fluida al leer inglés? ¿Cuándo ha ocurrido eso? Si yo cuando hablo inglés me tengo que quedar pensando continuamente cómo se pronuncian las cosas. No porque no lo sepa, sino porque mi acento El de mi ciudad es una puta mierda para leer en inglés. Entonces tengo que pensar muy bien cómo se pronuncia todo antes de decirlo. Entonces, cuando leo algo, lo tengo que pensar. El poder del bucket. Es verdad, el bucket me ha hecho cambiar, me ha hecho una ávida pronunciadora de inglés. Nothing can resist me now. I can beat any sentence. Esfuérzate mucho, sé que puedes hacerlo del redebut. Eso espero. Si no me voy a meter un tiro. Como diría Manaper, me voy a meter un tiro en los cojoncios. Pero yo no tengo cojoncios, yo tengo ovarios, así que me voy a meter un tiro en los ovarios. Os quiero mucho, chicos, y recordad que soy muy guapo. Take care and strive. You do. Chao, chao, Yoza. Os quiero mucho, recordad que soy muy guapo. Y nos vemos el próximo día. Bye bye. Adiósito. Pasar un buen fin de semana, si no nos vemos mañana. Espero que sí, ¿vale? Bye bye.